Silkie, obviously you could look at this and think the government are coming at it from a place of trying to help people. They want to protect people from harms online. But I guess your problem is as soon as you open up that Pandora's box, you're entering the world of censorship.
Yes, exactly. Well, we already have laws that protect people from unlawful content and criminal activity online. And I think that's what most people care about when they're victims of fraud or from stalking and harassment and kind of sexual crimes that can take place online as well. But that's not what we've got here. We've got one of the most seriously dangerous bills for free speech in this country in living memory. And it's become a bill where, as you can see, even over the past week, politicians are just lobbing on new types of content that they want to have the power to censor. They're not talking about speech that is just unlawful. They're talking about speech which is termed as harmful. And this is a completely elastic term, a new term. It's a completely new way of envisaging the state's intervention in what people can and can't say. And harm is a very, very broad concept. As you can see now, we've got politicians saying that anything from bad jokes to inconvenient information or disinformation, as it's been called, as you quite rightly say, is often a term actually levelled at people who oppose government policies. And this is the type of stuff that's about to fall in the crosshairs. By the way, Big Brother Watch had a video censored by YouTube, that was by David Davis MP, one of the most celebrated civil liberties advocates in the country, because he was criticising COVID passes, and we had to fight to get that uncancelled. So this is a real threat that could completely change the landscape for free speech in Britain.
I mean, a bad joke being illegal, that is genuinely terrifying. I also shudder to think of the amount of time that police will use investigating these spurious things instead of actually focusing on knife crime and burglaries. I mean, it just feels like the priorities are so wrong.
Absolutely. I mean, conviction rates are absolutely plummeting. Crime rates are going up. And there are some serious internet-based crimes, but it's not really bad jokes or offensive opinions. And already I think we have a problem in this country now where police officers are going to speak to people to check their thinking about things that they've posted online that are kind of ordinary, widely held opinions. If we throw open the floodgates, as this new bill proposes to do, to capture entirely new categories of speech as things that should be in the crosshair for state authorities to have a say on, then we really are through the looking glass. I think already people in this country are starting to feel that we've had enough of being told what we can and can't say, that we've had enough of cancel culture. That's why we've got this petition that I would encourage people to sign, to let the government know that we do want to protect free speech online. My sense is that the government thinks that it can get away with this or that people just don't care. And I think that's a real misreading of the situation. Actually, I think there are millions of people out there who really hold dear the precious British tradition of free speech in this country and realise that it is the foundation of democracy. I think there are some people in politics who are trying to recast it as a danger to democracy, which is absolute nonsense. It's what our democracy is based upon.
So, Silkie, I'm with you on pretty much all of this. But the one question I do have for you is about the big tech companies. So the Facebooks, the Googles, the Twitters, the Snapchats. Now, they claim they're not publishers. And so they're not held accountable for anything that is published on their platforms. And remember, that does mean we have seen things published like instructions to terrorists on how to make bombs, revenge porn of young teenage girls at schools. And the problem with these companies, Silkie, and remember I've dealt with them a lot, they won't always take this stuff down. And that's the only area where I just feel like there has to be some acknowledgement that these companies need to be accountable to someone because they're not even in this country.
I couldn't agree more, actually. And I think that this bill, the online safety bill, is being branded by the government as reining the tech companies in, when actually it's doing precisely the opposite. It's empowering foreign companies who don't share British free speech values to act as speech police online over lawful content. I think you're absolutely right. I think if the government had come forward with a bill that dealt with specifically unlawful content and said to the big tech companies, if you are keeping up criminal content on the internet...
Because they do, by the way.
Yeah.
They do keep up criminal content.
It has happened.
Yeah.
If you're keeping that up and you're not taking it down, then that will be a matter for the authorities. That would be absolutely right, but
no,
that's
I think
not what
that's
this
a good
bill
solution, actually, and I wish they were going down that path. Well, look, a really important issue. Do keep us posted, please. That was the director of Big Brother Watch, Silkie Carlo. Silkie, thank you so much.